Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Local Scene with Kara Jean. Today is Sunday, and we have Jennifer hanging out with us. How's it
Oh,
going?
good. I hope you're well.
I'm going good. I'm going good. So I'm really excited because I got to hear some of your music before we
Oh,
came on, and I really think that you're very like a in-depth writer. I really
thank you.
like your music, and so I'm excited to have you on so we could talk about it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Of
Um,
course.
I've been writing for most of my life actually. I grew up an only child, and so
Yeah.
I think when you're an only child, like you learn to like do things by yourself.
Yes.
And one of those things for me was music, and I think it was just a natural kind of thing for me. And I got involved with music when I was, oh gosh, well, I started writing when I was about 4, but
Ah,
before then, like I was surrounded by grandparents that absolutely loved music. My grandfather played, he played guitar and mandolin and banjo and all that stuff. And like I was always in awe of him and just I wanted to play like my papa played.
yeah.
And he actually started me out on mandolin when I was really little, and
Wow.
and I broke it. And
Oh,
he
oh
was
no.
like, "Okay, this is going in the closet. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna mess with my instruments." But he did show me like some guitar chords and stuff like that, and I think um, it, I just was always around it. And my nanny Duncan, especially, like she loved country music, loved it. And we would sit there at her house and she would be playing TNN and CMT. And that's what we did. We watched
Yeah.
music videos together. And, um, she loved Conway Twitty and Dolly Parton and all that stuff. And I fell in love with Randy Travis at a really,
Oh,
really young age because, he's from North Carolina. So I was like,
yeah.
wow, it's destined to like work.
Right.
Of course, I fell apart when he like got married, and I found out he
Of
was married,
course.
and yeah, I was
Yeah.
very sad 5-year-old. And but yeah, so it just was a natural progression of getting involved with music at church and then school. And um, honestly, even when because I had a lot of anxiety after my grandmother passed away,
Mm,
it was sort of like I kind of break it up before and after, because before then, I don't know if I was just aloof to the world around me. And so I felt
mm.
like, I was doing all these solos and all that kind of stuff and didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden it was like after like my eyes were opened and I realized like, oh, people don't necessarily like that you're doing these solos, and you don't make friends when you when
Yeah.
you're getting attention or whatever the case may be. And so there was just a lot of anxiety after that point
Mm.
in time, and especially going into middle school. And it's not that I took necessarily a back seat. I think I did from the public stuff,
Mhm.
but that's when I really started, doing the songwriting and becoming more in depth with it, because it was my way of dealing with everything I was going through.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting too because I find that like grief really brings out if you're a creative, especially a songwriter, like
Mhm.
it's almost like you crave it more in some ways.
Yeah.
And like for myself, I did. I lost my grandma and my grandpa and my brother all within a few months of each other, um and so it was really hard to uh like not want to do anything other than music. Like it was almost like it was the the like
Mhm.
kept me going kind of thing. So I totally understand. I get it. That's I think as creatives that's kind of what you have to do. You have to like pour into how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, I thought I was gonna sneeze. So yeah, so I feel like that's really common.
Yeah.
And you're saying you were in high school or junior high?
she died when I was 10. So I was getting ready to
Oh,
start.
not even. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
so I was getting ready to
Yeah.
start middle school, and
Yeah.
um, like I remember, I remember trying out for like drama club in the 6th grade, and I went up to sing
Phew.
um,
There we go.
Whitney Houston, "The Greatest Love of All."
Oh my
And
gosh.
I couldn't get words out. Like I was just like, no sound would come out. And
Wow.
I remember just crying because I was like, what is wrong with me? Because like literally months before I was doing solos and I was singing out at places, and so it was such
Yeah.
a weird thing, but I didn't understand either. Um and so I took it as, well, if I can't even get the words out, then I'm not meant to do this. Even though
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah.
doing stuff behind the scenes, but I think you learn to process things, and we all process things differently. And that's sort of, I think, how my grief came out.
Yeah.
Being able to write about it and be really honest. Like it felt like I could be really honest with how I was feeling when I was writing. And
Yeah.
that was my
Yeah.
safe place.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of normal though, like I think as musicians or songwriters or whatever, that really um comes to a point of like being able to like if you don't have the words, then you can write it out there, or if you like can't handle the emotion, then the emotion, or you can't cope with the emotion, then the emotion comes out in that. And
Yeah.
um it's I don't know, did you find like it was easier to kind of get through everything with that?
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think for me in particular, I'm a person that kind of pushes things down. And so as
Mhm.
I've gotten older, I've learned to like process that and talk about it and whatever. But I
Yeah.
think, especially as a 10, 11-year-old, where,
Yeah.
everything seems to be changing around you, it's like you're pushing things down, but it's got to come out somewhere. And I'm glad
Yeah.
that it came out through music. Like I really,
Mhm.
I talk about, I feel like God gave me music, and music saved me from so many different things, because I
Mhm.
feel like it could have gone a whole nother way, like
Oh yeah, of course.
gone
Yeah.
a completely different way had I not had a healthy way of talking about things and
Mhm.
putting things out there. Even though I wasn't sharing it per se, like it still was getting that out. And I think when
Yeah.
you're able to do that, it helps you process things.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's interesting because you can't think of like, what if you didn't have that, how would that have happened? Would you be where you are now and had that,
Yeah.
being able to get through all those emotions and all those big, because a 10-year-old, I mean, that's big emotions, like,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you get through life and you're like, dang, these emotions do not get any smaller as you get older, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you become aware of them, and you're able to process it a little better. But
Yeah.
yeah, even then, I mean, I write the best when I am ticked off at the world.
Oh
Like
my God.
somebody
When I'm
ticks me
in it,
off,
I hear you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody ticks me off, I got a whole album coming. Like I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Like if I'm in that emotion like right then and there,
mhm.
like the best comes out of that, where it's like fresh. Whereas if I like write some of it and try to go back, I'm like, man, it's not as like not
Uh-uh.
as right in the moment,
Kind of
like
kind of
it's
raw.
not
Just
flying.
that vomit's just
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I totally hear that. It's interesting to be like mm, the like difference in like if I can't like write it in that moment and I have to go somewhere else. Like do you ever like have to do that, and like you can't just like be in your phone or like
yes. Well,
whatever.
I've been so angry before that I haven't had words. And so like
Mhm.
I've put down like a thought, but then
Yeah.
I've got to be away from it for a little bit and cool down
Yeah.
to like really, I sound like the most aggressive human.
You're not.
Close or
No,
not.
you're good.
But there's been things, and especially like if it's something like grief or I'm sad or something like that, and you just don't have the words, then
Yeah, yeah.
it takes a while to kind of process through that. Um, but yeah, I would say a lot of times I've been ticked off and just I remember I was 10 years old or 11 years old, and this girl ticked me off at school, and it was one of my first like songs about somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember it because I got so angry and I came home and I just wrote this song and it was like, she hates, or well, I'm not going to tell the girl's name, but
Yeah.
the girl's name hates me and like I hate her. That works out perfectly, blah, 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 blah. Like I was just like, like,
I love it.
it's fine.
I love it. I didn't actually start writing. I mean, I've been playing music since I've said this a million times, but I've been playing music since I was like 9, but I didn't actually start writing until I was like 19. But I did write like poems and stuff and stories and stuff, um but yeah, like I really didn't write until then, but I totally understand because like the writing part of it when I was a kid, like that was all it was like stories and like
Yeah,
and just like poems kind of, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean as a kid it's harder because then it's that like how do I get this out, you know. But then as you get older and you're like as a teenager, preteen or whatever, you know, it becomes much easier, I think, or at least I thought it was, to be able to like do to say things, you know.
I think you also like the older you get, the more you learn kind of song structure too.
That's
And
true too.
it's
Yeah.
just the rules of the game. Like, and I hate to say the rules of the game because honestly, sometimes I get tired of the rules. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when people are like, yeah, it needs to have a verse, chorus, bridge, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's got to be this structure. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't.
Yeah. I
Um,
love the breaking of the rules. Like
yeah,
I feel like it makes things so much more interesting, and I think that, you know, it's definitely like all songs have to have like those things in it, but like where it is or how many, you know, it doesn't have to be like a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, a you know, second. Like
yeah,
so there's some songs where there's like 4 verses and then the pre-chorus and then the chorus, you know, or whatever.
yep,
So I think
yeah.
breaking the rules is fine, you know, and fun. And I think is you're right. I think as you get older, you kind of learn that and you can play with it a little bit more, you
Yeah,
know.
I think you give yourself the liberty of
Yeah,
actually,
that's a good
well,
word.
at least I have. Like, I will say the difference between even when I put an out, get words out. I put out an album in 2015, and it was a contemporary Christian album. And when I was writing it, it was kind of that idea of like, gotta play by the rules, gotta,
Mm,
you know, it's a Christian album. I want it to say, nothing controversial or whatever, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like just here it is and it's pretty and precise and whatever. And
yeah,
I think the older you get and the more you give yourself that liberty, the more honest you are. And it's like,
yeah.
and honestly, like there's been times like I have a song called Filthy Water that I think it was the first time that I let myself really be angry in a song
Mm.
sense. And I
How
was like,
did that feel?
when I got done, I was like, huh, okay. Like it was the most therapeutic thing
Yeah,
in the world, but it was, and I don't feel like I went overboard with what I said, but it was sort of like it hit the nail on the head as far as what I
yeah,
needed to say.
yeah,
And I think that was really a tipping off point for me that I could be honest and I could
yeah,
be
right.
real with my lyrics. And so since that time, like, I will say some of the songs that I've written probably in the past year have been the most vulnerable and most raw.
Mm.
Especially like my song lately, it's literally about my depression and how,
Yeah,
um, I was sitting here and everything seemingly looked great, but you can't tell yourself that in that moment.
hmm,
And I remember just thinking like, God, why am I still like so blah and not
yeah,
loving everything about life? And I felt really guilty because it was like, you know, everybody's allowing me to do this and allowing me to
yeah,
live my dreams, and yet I'm not happy.
yeah,
And so I think that that has allowed even more self reflection and being able to just be really honest and say,
hmm,
hey, here's what I'm feeling. And I
hmm,
hope that more than anything, I hope that translates to people because I really want people to feel like they have a safe place.
yeah,
Not necessarily understand everything I'm saying or anything like that, but just that I just think that there's such such help that comes when you're vulnerable.
Yeah. I
So
think the best, I think, with vulnerability, I think that's what music kind of forces you to be, though. Like
yeah.
if you're writing your own music, you almost have to automatically do that, unless you're somebody who just is kind of superficial or whatever. But most musicians I know are not. And so I feel like, the vulnerability kind of coincides with being a songwriter, because
Mhm.
you have to kind of feel all that and feel those emotions and be able to translate,
Mhm.
and um I think having emotions like that are deep, that touch other people or have people feel something that you're feeling,
Mhm.
I think that also kind of has to happen, and that comes with vulnerability too. So, I
Mhm.
mean, it's definitely interesting, like if you take like just a song you've written superficially and just like, oh yeah, this is just a fun, or one
Yeah.
that like where we're in like in it deep and you're like, "Nah," like
Yeah.
you can't get enough words out.
Well, and there's
you
some
know.
songs that I've written that have even been on albums that I don't necessarily feel comfortable playing on my out.
Mm,
I know that sounds probably a little strange, but I just feel like yes, I've put that out there and people can listen to it, and I've had some people come up and say like, "Hey, that song, like it's really meant a lot," and I get it.
yeah.
Um, Especially because and the song I'm talking about is on my Playing with Fire album, and it's called Blood is Thicker Than Water.
Mm,
And it's just the idea of like, you grow up and you're told that family is everything. It's like blood
mhm,
relatives are everything. And what I've learned in my life is that that's not always true. That's not
yeah.
always who's there for you, and that's not always who knows you the best. And that took a lot of years of reckoning to come to terms with.
Mm, yeah.
And so I've had people come up to me and be like, "Hey, that song, like it really has meant a lot." And but it's just not something that I feel like I want to put out at a show.
Yeah.
That makes
Right.
sense. Like it's just I don't know. There's other ones that I'm fine with, but there's a couple that I'm just like, this is for
Yeah.
this is for just time by yourself and for
Yeah. Yeah.
having introspective time.
Yeah. Well, and I think as the musician, you can kind of choose what you want out there. I mean,
Mhm.
if somebody like specifically requests it, then that's a whole different situation. But like if you're just like going in and playing, like I feel like that's the liberty of, I mean, even more than like famous people do that. Like they don't play everything, So I feel like that's normal, and like I think that those songs actually are more special because it's more like you just saying something, or at least that's how I see it anyway, or what I've felt when I do that. Like it's like I just need to get this down, get it out and say it.
Yeah,
And then you guys can take that, but here's other music that I'm willing to play.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, with the plethora of music that you have out, do you have any that are like really near and dear and like special?
Um, I always say like the next song that I've written, or the last song I've written is my favorite. Like I think that that's just the thing. Like you get that,
Yeah.
and it's like this is my new favorite song.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I will
I
say,
feel like that's everybody though. Like this is
yeah,
not the first time I've heard that. They're like, "Oh, this song is my greatest." And I'm like, "All right, well, you said that about the last one too."
I think that there's definitely ones that I feel are stronger than others.
Yeah.
I will say one that I think that I'm probably I don't want to say the most proud of even because a lot of times I feel like God just gives me things to be able to
Mm,
say, this is how you're feeling, like get this out, whatever. There's a song that I wrote with my friend Molly,
mhm,
Molly Hanson, and it's called More Than a Bottle. And it's not out. It's not, at some point I will release it. But it truly, it's about kind of being on the other side of loving somebody that has addiction. And
mm. Gosh, yeah.
and just the fact of that feeling of, you know, will you ever love me more than that bottle or that
Mhm.
drug of choice or whatever the case may be? And I worked a lot of years in recovery ministry, and so I've seen kind of both sides. I also, grew up in situations, and I've seen both sides of the person that's dealing with the addiction. But then you have the family,
Yeah, the fallout.
spouse, whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
their choices are made, and it's like, why am sometimes it feels like, why am I not enough for you to
Yeah.
not have
God,
to
yeah.
go there?
Yeah.
And even though it's not always a choice, like it truly is, in most cases, a disease, and it's an addiction. And when you have that, like, it's different. It's not, you're not thinking straight. And,
Yeah.
but that's really hard. And it's hard, especially for kids and
Yeah.
those that may not understand what addiction is, that you can't just make a choice. Like, it's not
Yeah.
that simple. And so
Yeah.
I think that
Yep.
that song, um, it said everything that I felt like I needed to say in that moment. And that song especially was very cathartic. And so I would say that one. I also think that I have a song called Jesus in a Bar.
Mm.
And I've spent many years in ministry, and the one thing that I have learned for myself is that the most meaningful ministry is not done within the church walls.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And that
Mhm.
was a hard lesson for me to learn for some reason. Like, I thought, I'm going to go into ministry, and I'm going to work in a church the rest of my life. And it's like, no, like, ministry's hard.
Yeah. Oh
Best
yeah.
part, the best parts the people, the worst parts the people, like the hardest parts the people. And
Yeah.
so, I had, back in 2018, I kind of moved out of full-time ministry and
Mm.
started playing my music. And especially 2020, like, I made that decision to start, really pursuing the country and pop stuff. And
Yeah.
a lot of people had questions. And
Was it hard? Was it hard to go from that transition because you'd
um,
done, Christian music so long?
I wouldn't say it was difficult from the standpoint, because I still was serving. I'm still serving in ministry. I'm still a worship leader, still, very much involved with that. I think in a lot of ways, I felt like it was easier to have
No.
sort of these
Yeah.
two different identities. I know that sounds bad, but because
No, I
I
get it.
I think the thing that I've had a hard time with when I first put out music in 2015, I never wanted somebody to think I was trying to push my music from the platform, like from a
Mm.
morning or anything. Like, I wanted to be able to do my music, and I was doing, going into churches and singing for youth groups and whatever, and festivals and whatever. But I never wanted that to overshadow what I was doing on a Sunday morning.
Right.
And so I think for me, when I started releasing the country stuff, I was able to kind of like have this over here where I was doing this, and then like I'm doing this over here. And it's not that I necessarily feel like, because at this point, like, everything's kind of merged.
Yeah.
But for a while, like, for me, it was just easier, to kind of process, like, hey, I can promote this because
Mhm.
this doesn't have to do with the church.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but even then, people still think like, oh, she's promoting stuff, like, she's just, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
people are
But
people.
it's but, I think what I've kind of gathered is that it's like a stigma. Like if you're representing a church or a religion or anything of that nature as a whole, there's kind of like a societal rule, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's kind of someone from the outside looking in. Like you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, but
No, no, I get
I feel like there's kind of this like stigma of like you can't sing pop music or you can't do this or you can't. It has to stay within the little section,
signs of,
and
yes, yeah.
yeah,
I will say that's part of what Jesus in a Bar is about. It's so I had played at the Viper Room in LA, and this was back in 2023, and I was getting all these messages. Like, I had posted, because my name was on the sign or whatever under
yeah,
like some like Megadeth I don't it was something like
Oh,
that. I don't know.
jeez.
It was something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like Queen of Darkness. I think it was under Queen
Yeah.
of Darkness. Okay. I have no idea who that artist is. Probably fantastic though. So anyway, I'm like under like it's like that, and then here's Jennifer Alvarado
Mhm.
over it. And so like, you post that you played the Cobra. It's like a cool thing.
Yeah.
And I was getting all of these people contacting me on the way home from LA, like, we just remember when you would sing it as well, and you were praying and blah blah blah, and like, I just hope you aren't losing that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Oh
and
my
the funny
gosh.
thing for me was playing the Viper Room, like, gave me this realization of like, because you had so many different ethnicities and demographics in
Yeah.
that room, and everybody was just enjoying music, and it was all these different styles of music. I mean, there was like, uh, you know screamer band happening and like all this stuff, and then here's
Yeah.
country me. And I mean, it was a very like surreal experience.
I
And
bet. That sounds
but
like it was.
but it showed me that like all these different people can
Mhm.
coexist and enjoy
Yeah.
music. And you know they weren't hating on me, I wasn't hating on them. And I don't know, like, it just really opened my eyes to say like, there's so much to be done outside of the church walls. And
Yeah.
then when I
I
and
sorry.
then oh, you're fine. And my cat's been losing her mind in here. She finally settled.
Dog
But
man.
it on the way home, like, I was getting these messages, and I just thought, you know, when did we forget to just like go and be a good neighbor, and
Yeah. Oh my
people,
gosh.
and not have this agenda of like, you've got to believe everything I believe or I hate you. Like
Yeah.
I just, because I remember growing up, like, I felt like we were able to have conversations with people, and like that art of just conversations and just learning something new about somebody, and not necessarily seeing eye to eye. Like, I feel like that's just
Yeah.
lost. And
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's where that song came from. And so I feel like I just felt like that song was really important from a standpoint of, it's where my heart, like, it talks sort of where my heart is with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, and I think you're right. I think it's people that like don't want I think it's people that don't want to do that, right? Like they don't want to have that
And just
like
get comfortable.
neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want the comfortability because it's easy,
Yeah.
and to come out of that, it's like I'm gonna have to either, act different or talk different or something to that effect. And I think that being uncomfortable is hard for people, especially when it comes to music. Like everybody's kind of like, this is the music I like, or
Yeah.
whatever. If you don't like it, then that's what I do. And so and then there's a few of us that are just all across the board, and you couldn't peg us in anything. But-
I understand that.
but it is, I think it is hard to, because I did a show, I put on a show, I should say, and I tried to make it just like very versatile,
Yeah.
and it was hard for people to sit there and be like, well, this person's good, but I really liked the other person, and you're just like, well, can't you just be open-minded? Like, so I get
And
it.
that's what I loved about LA so much, because, I play in Nashville a lot. I do a lot of writers rounds in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hear me. I love the writing community in Nashville, but so much of it is the same. And
Yeah, right.
the thing I loved with LA when I went out there and I did some writers rounds out there was just, it was so different. You would have like, there was a guy that was like traditional country, like loved
Mhm.
Loretta Lynn, with like an artist that I think she did like theater and stuff like that, but it was
Wow.
really different. Like, but I mean, that's what it was. Like, everybody was doing their own thing, and
Yeah.
it was so cool, and it honestly taught me so much to see
Yeah.
like these different styles of music and to interact with those artists, because we all have different ways of making music.
Yeah,
And
100%. Yeah.
I don't know. And I wish people were more open to that. And I think that
Mm.
one thing that I've always appreciated, my grandparents taught me this was, I would go and play bingo with my grandmother and her
I love that.
at the nursing home, and I was
Yeah.
7 years old. She'd come get me out of school, and we would on Tuesdays and play bingo.
Yeah.
She wasn't supposed to, but hey. And so, but I would learn like I would talk to the older people and I would listen to their stories and learn all this
Mhm.
stuff. And I think that more than anything sort of sparked even songwriting for me because,
Yeah.
you know, you learn other people's lives and you learn what they've gone through and I don't know, like I just feel like so many people have things to teach us if we would just
Yeah.
open our eyes and not be afraid of learning
Yeah.
learning
Well,
that.
it's perspective, right? Like it's perspective. It's as a 7-year-old listening to, not just your grandparents, but like an 80-year-old or something in the home, then and that's 9 or 70 years of life before and so it's like you have to I'm a caregiver now as a full-time
Okay.
job, and I take care of veterans who are between 70 and 90, right?
Mhm.
And so it's interesting to now as an adult listen to that and grow from it and see a different perspective and a different life,
Yeah.
and feel very fortunate of being able to be there to hear that.
Mhm.
And then as a child, I'm sure that that was like very informative and very like eye-opening, because as an adult it is for me now till
Oh,
still, like I can't imagine being young and it not be very uh what's the word? I'm losing the word, but
impactful.
impactful. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
I was like, okay.
So yeah, I mean, I feel, and then you can like draw from that, right? So
Yeah,
like, I mean, being a songwriter so young, I imagine that that really did kind of fuel that a little bit, you
most definitely.
know.
Well, and my grandmother, this is going to make me sound like a stalker. We would also we would
Okay.
also sit at like the mall, like the local mall, and we would make
Yeah.
up stories. Like we would
Oh,
people watch, and we would make up
yeah.
stories. And
I
so
love that.
like that was another way that I was just like, I don't know, we can make up all kinds of stuff about people
Yeah.
and then sing about it. So
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
But yeah, I always laugh because I mean my best friends when I was growing up were probably 85 years old. Like
No,
they were probably
that's
80.
amazing. Yeah, like, but I mean, think about the youthfulness, bringing back to them, though. Like, there's a give and take there for sure, and I think I, going back to your like watching people, I used to do that in high school. I would just sit at a
Okay.
park that we had, and because it was so eclectic, it would be like people that are walking on their lunch break in a suit and tie,
Gosh.
and then you have like the runners or whatever, and then you have, I mean, there were so many different people in this city that I was in, a- a- and it really like I did the same thing, but I think you're right. I think it becomes like you learn that it's not so much judging as it is like, I wonder who that person is,
Yeah,
like.
that's what mine was. Like it was more of like, I wonder what their story is. I wonder if they're
Yeah.
fighting with somebody because they would, get out of the car and be glaring at each other or whatever.
Yeah.
You pick up
Exactly.
on cues of
Yeah.
you start to read social cues and
Yeah.
faces and I don't know. And that was more of what it was. Like we would just make up these little stories. Like they just went to the mall to buy a ring so they could propose or whatever.
Oh, I love it. And that gives you more, I think that like at that age too, like it teaches you kind of being able to be creative, and think outside what
Exactly.
So I don't know. I feel like it would have.
I think it definitely did. Yeah, I think
Yeah. Well, why don't we get into some of your music? I'm gonna let you have the stage and you can sing 2 or 3 songs, and
okay.
then we'll come back and talk about it.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. Enjoy, everybody.
Thank you. So speaking of songwriting, I love Dan and Shay's Tequila, but I felt like there were so many unanswered questions, and maybe that's just a songwriter kind of thing of like you want more of the story. So this song is called Colorado, and this is the girl's point of view, I guess, if you want that for Tequila. Where we hide from the smoke or the altitude, a chill sky was the only other one I knew. And we were chasing stars and freedom, wrapped in his arms, our hearts were beating. Forever seemed so close when it was new. Damn you, Colorado, Rocky Mountains on a back road. He swore that he loved me, and I gave him everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, he said we were over, that he'd met somebody, and it's just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. It's funny how I still recall everything. Chill of the night from him kissing me, in my sorority t-shirt, moonlit sky. We planned out the rest of our lives. Now it's all so bittersweet. Damn you, Colorado, Rocky Mountains on a back road. He swore that he loved me, and I gave him everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, he said we were over, that he'd met somebody, and it's just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado, Rocky Mountains on that back road. You swore that you loved me, and I gave you everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, you said we were over, that he'd found somebody, and it's just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. So I try to put a little bit of humor in my music as well, and to kind of make a long story short, my parents don't necessarily love my husband. They've made peace with him. I will say that. I think they've made peace. So I'm gonna play my song that is coming out in March. It's my new single, and it is called "My Daddy Doesn't Like You." And basically, we've been together for 20 years, and it has been a strained relationship, to say the least. But this is my honesty and my humor. So hope you like it. Oh my, I think that I'm in love. Well, you're a rebel and I just can't get enough. I like cool, but my parents say it's tough. Well, you're quiet, they can't trust the two of us. And my daddy doesn't like you. You think that you're bad news, he's never seen me acting like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Well, all these years I thought that things could change, but he still can't stand it when I say her name. Well, you took away his little girl to shame, and you're the devil with a beard and a ring. And my daddy doesn't like you, 'cause he thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me acting like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Yeah. My daddy doesn't like you. He thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me act like I do with you. And his little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Oh my, I think that I'm in love. You're a rebel and I just can't get enough.
Yeah. Dude, okay, I really like the My Daddy Doesn't Like You. That's
Thank,
fantastic.
thank you.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I'm putting it out a few days before my husband's birthday because it's
Oh, how
right.
does he feel about it? Just
Oh, he
curious.
thinks it's funny. And
Yeah.
actually, I had a picture. I had a picture that I took of my father when I was like 7 years old from
Yeah.
Virginia City when we went to Reno, and I was short and my father was bigger. And so all it is his stomach and like this much of his face. And I was like, I just feel like this is perfect for an album cover. So I let Josh tweak it a little bit. And I think he had fun with that. So I'm very happy with the album. Somebody said it looked like a horror game or something. And I was like,
Oh
well,
gosh.
hey, whatever. If it makes people
Yeah.
listen to it, that's great. But I'm very happy with it, and I'm happy that I was able to kind of pull him into, and that he wanted to be
Yeah.
part of it. So he's excited about it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you have a lot of songs that you've like, because you said you've been together 20 years, so is there a lot of songs that you've kind of written about him or you guys together?
Um, yes and no. So I would go through periods of time. It is not easy for me to write like happy songs. I know that sounds so bad, but like I have a few songs that I've written him that and there's a few that were very much about him, and I've never recorded them.
Yeah.
There's one called Betting on Love that was on Playing with Fire that essentially was like the same idea, like the parents hate
Yeah.
him, whatever. And so like that was very much inspired by him. But yeah, I've got songs. I just
Yeah.
they're there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm good at love songs. Like I feel
Oh,
like I'm good at
yeah.
angsty type
Yeah.
love songs, but if it's like, I don't know, Valentine's and flowers and stuff, it's like it's gonna
You're
be
like,
all
uh-uh.
uh-uh. It's not me.
I love it. I used to know a a musician that his whole thing was like sad is sexy, right? Like his music was not even not happy at all. Like a lot of them were very angsty or
Oh,
very like longing or you know whatever. And you know, I was like, you're not wrong, man. That's kind of, and he was a good looking dude, so like it just fit perfect.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
love it.
yeah,
I love it.
that's I feel. You know what? I think in 2026 I'm going to write a love song. Like I will say
Yeah,
it now. That
I'm gonna hold you to it.
okay, fine. I mean, it might be like somebody died, but hey, we'll work on it.
I love it. I love it. I'm waiting for that one. I can't
Okay,
wait for that. Have some humor in it, you know.
okay.
I like the twist on tequila. That was really
Oh,
cool.
thank
Yeah.
you.
I really like that. That's one of my I'm with you. Like that's one of my favorite songs. Such a great
Well,
song.
I just always felt like, well, what happened? Like,
Yeah. I know.
I don't know. I've always felt that with that song. Like there was just so much left unsaid, and so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I love the like answering to a song that's already there, you know, like Miley did with Flowers to Bruno
yeah.
Mars, you know, or whatever, like this one to that one. Like I really feel like it really kind of is creative when you could come to the other side of it, like and tell a different perspective on the other side of it. Like it's that's just brilliant. I love it. Well, what's going forward for you coming
Yeah.
up?
So like I said,
You have the
My
song.
Daddy
Yeah.
Doesn't Like You comes
Yeah.
out on March 13th. And so I'm kind of working toward that and working toward getting that out to some radio and hopefully live
Yeah.
and stuff. And then I'm also in the studio finishing up an EP that it's going to kind of go backwards. I know this sounds weird. Colorado was always supposed to be part of it, and
Mhm.
then life happened, of course, and I went the lately route of the EP that
Yeah.
came out, and so Colorado kind of got shoved in the back of life.
Oh,
And so I'm finally coming back to that to pull that one back onto this EP as well. And the EP is going to be titled Map of Broken Hearts. And so basically,
great
yeah,
title.
yeah, thanks. There's a song on there that actually it's humorous.
Yeah.
It's called Map of Broken Hearts. It's the title track, and
Yeah.
it's humorous if nothing else. So yeah.
I love that title. That is brilliant. Like I love it.
Um,
That's so cool.
but yeah, so I am working on that. Hopefully that'll be out mid May is the,
Okay.
what I'm thinking. I gotta actually get some background vocals recorded and out. Anyway, and then I'm hoping to do a little bit of a tour for that during the summer months. I know I'm
Mm,
doing like middle of the US, like Wisconsin and um, Illinois, Iowa, and possibly Indiana if I can find a place in Indiana.
mhm.
I'm doing those because one of my goals is to play all 50 states at some point. And
Girl,
so,
come out here. We're in
okay.
Washington, Idaho.
Well, actually, yeah, like
I
you're
mean,
on my
country
list.
is a thing out here.
You're on my list. Like I've already been like through LA and all, Pacific
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, which I want to go back out there. But yeah, it didn't make it all the way up to Washington. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I,
let me know. I mean, yeah.
sounds
I
good.
got some people you could probably hook up with
Okay,
and
sounds
play
good.
for them or something or with them, maybe.
Sounds good to me. Well, yeah,
But yeah, I mean I
that's
think it's kind of cool to be able to like put your music all over and that's a cool goal. I have to say that's a pretty awesome goal.
I think for me, like one of those reasons of that goal is just I like seeing how life is in other places.
Yeah.
I would love to go around the entire not United States world, but
Yeah.
you know, I also think that there's so much in the United States that we don't see, and just
Yeah.
life that
100%.
you don't. I don't know, and so I want to see it all
Yeah. Why not, you know?
and
You
experience.
got I mean you can use your singing to like hit the road and, you know, make money doing it, you know?
Hope so.
So I feel like that's a positive.
I hope. Yeah, I think next up I need to get an RV so I can
Yeah,
just
yeah, there
I
you
don't
go.
have to
Or
pay
a
for
bus. Some people use a bus, you know, like
I
revamp a bus.
yeah, but I can't drive a bus.
Yeah.
I just
You're like, no, that's not in the cards for
I
me.
can just do that. Yeah. I can do an RV, I
I
think.
can respect that. I can
Yeah.
respect that. Well, it is so great having you on. I think you're awesome and you're so
Well, thank
much
you.
fun. And everybody go check out her new song in March. So be sure to follow her. You want to give your socials and stuff and
Yes,
let
please.
people know?
So all of the socials would be at Jennifer Alvarado Music. Alvarado is Alverado. No, Alvarado.
I was like, wait a minute.
Can't spell. It's Alvarado. I have to like do it. And
Oh my gosh,
my
I love
maiden
it.
name's Miller. Like I'm still getting used to it. Okay.
Uh,
Anyway, but yeah, so Jennifer Alvarado music. You can also look up avocado and it will show up, I promise. And as weird as that is. And my friends
yeah,
call me avocado. And you
that's
can also
awesome.
check out jenniferalvarado.com or Spotify and all those, Jennifer Alvarado.
Awesome. It was so great having you on.
Thank
I just think you're so much fun and I hope you come back and like share your
thank
releases with
you.
us.
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it. All
Okay.
right, guys. Well, that's for today. Thanks for showing. I know a couple people showed up, so thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And be sure to check her out on all of her socials and her new releases. And we had an awesome time. I'm so excited. So
Meet
have a
you.
great day, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.